In the previous video, Early History, Mongol Rule and Tsardom in Russia. In this video I will talk about the Imperial Russia, Revolution and Soviet era, post-Soviet Russia and Russia in 21st century. Imperial Russia. Imperial Russia refers to the period in Russian history from the establishment of the Romanov dynasty in 1613 until the Russian Revolution in 1917, when Russia was ruled by a series of czars who held vast territories and exerted significant influence in Eastern Europe and Asia. This period saw significant expansion of the Russian Empire, social and economic reforms, and cultural developments, but it also faced challenges such as social inequality, political unrest, and struggles for modernization. One of the key features of Imperial Russia was its territorial expansion. The Russian Empire, under the rule of the Romanov Tsars, expanded its territories through conquest, colonization, and diplomacy. Tsar Peter the Great, r. 1682–1725, embarked on a program of modernization and expansion, consolidating Russia's position as a major European power. He established a strong navy, reformed the military and administration, and expanded Russia's territory through wars and treaties, gaining access to the Baltic Sea and establishing a new capital, St. Petersburg, as a window to the west. Under Catherine the Great, r. 1762–1796, the Russian Empire further expanded its territory, particularly in Eastern Europe and Central Asia, through military campaigns and diplomatic maneuvers. Imperial Russia also witnessed social and economic reforms. Peter the Great implemented a series of reforms aimed at modernizing Russia and promoting economic development, such as the introduction of new technologies, educational reforms, and the establishment of state-controlled industries. Catherine the Great continued these reforms and also implemented measures to promote agriculture, trade, and industry. However, these reforms were often unevenly implemented and had limited impact on the lives of the common people, while the nobility and the ruling elite continued to enjoy privileged status and wealth. Another notable aspect of Imperial Russia was its cultural developments. The Russian Empire saw the emergence of a new aristocracy that adopted European cultural norms and customs, particularly among the educated elite. Russian literature, arts, and sciences flourished during this period, with prominent writers such as Alexander Pushkin, Leo Tolstoy, and Fyodor Dostoevsky leaving a lasting impact on Russian and world literature. Russian architecture and art also saw significant developments, with the construction of grand palaces, cathedrals, and cultural institutions, particularly in St. Petersburg, which became a center of European-style culture and learning. However, Imperial Russia also faced social, political, and economic challenges. The majority of the Russian population were serfs, who were bound to the land and subject to the arbitrary rule of the nobility. Serfdom, along with other forms of social inequality, led to widespread discontent and unrest among the peasantry, which simmered throughout the imperial period. There were also political challenges, including attempts at reforms and the rise of revolutionary movements advocating for political rights, democracy, and social justice. Economic challenges included issues of agrarian reform, industrialization, and labor rights. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw increased political and social unrest in Imperial Russia, with growing discontent among various social groups, including the working class, intellectuals, and ethnic minorities. This culminated in the Russian Revolution of 1917, which led to the overthrow of the Romanov dynasty and the establishment of a socialist government under the leadership of the Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin. The Russian Revolution marked the end of Imperial Russia and the beginning of a new era in Russian history, with the establishment of the Soviet Union as a communist state. Nonetheless, the legacy of Imperial Russia, with its territorial expansion, social reforms, and cultural developments, continues to shape Russian history and culture to this day. Revolution and Soviet era. The Russian Revolution of 1905 led to limited political reforms and the establishment of a constitutional monarchy. The Russian Revolution of 1917 resulted in the overthrow of the Russian monarchy and the establishment of a communist government under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin and the Bolshevik Party. The Russian Civil War, a bloody conflict between the Bolsheviks, Red Army, and anti-Bolshevik forces, White Army, resulted in the establishment of the Soviet Union in 1922, with Moscow as its capital. 1922 to 1991. The Soviet Union, officially known as the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR, was a communist state that encompassed Russia and other republics. It went through various political, economic, and social changes during its existence, including industrialization, collectivization, the Cold War, and significant cultural and political transformations. Post-Soviet Russia. 1991. The collapse of the Soviet Union led to the emergence of the Russian Federation as an independent country, with Moscow as its capital. Boris Yeltsin became the first president of Russia. 1990s. Russia underwent significant political and economic reforms, but also faced challenges such as economic instability, corruption, and social changes. Russia in the 21st century. Russia in the 21st century has been marked by significant political, economic, and social developments. Early 2000s. Vladimir Putin's presidency. Vladimir Putin, a former KGB officer, assumed the presidency of Russia in 2000 and served for 2 consecutive terms until 2008. He then served as prime minister from 2008 to 2012, before being elected as president again in 2012 and 2018. Putin's presidency has been characterized by consolidation of power, increased state control over media and civil society, and a focus on strengthening Russia's role in international affairs. 2008. Russo-Georgian War. In August 2008, Russia and Georgia engaged in a brief war over the separatist regions of South Ossetia and Abkhazia in Georgia. Russia recognized the independence of these regions and deployed military forces, leading to a significant escalation of tensions between Russia and Georgia, as well as with Western countries. 2014. Annexation of Crimea. In February 2014, Russia annexed Crimea, a region in Ukraine, following a disputed referendum. This move was met with condemnation from many Western countries, resulting in sanctions against Russia and further exacerbating tensions between Russia and Ukraine, as well as with the West. 2015. Intervention in Syria. In September 2015, Russia intervened militarily in the Syrian civil war, supporting the government of Bashar al-Assad against various rebel groups. Russia's intervention has had a significant impact on the dynamics of the conflict and has drawn both praise and criticism from the international community. Economic challenges and reforms. Russia has faced economic challenges in the 21st century, including fluctuations in oil prices, economic sanctions, and structural issues. The Russian government has implemented various economic reforms, such as efforts to diversify the economy, promote investment, and reduce reliance on hydrocarbon exports. Social and political developments. Russia has seen social and political developments in the 21st century, including debates over civil liberties, human rights, and democracy. There have been protests and demonstrations on various issues, such as corruption, political reform, and freedom of expression. The Russian government has taken measures to restrict civil liberties and political opposition, leading to concerns about human rights and political freedoms. 2018. FIFA World Cup. In 2018, Russia hosted the FIFA World Cup, a major international sporting event that brought attention to Russia on the global stage and had significant economic and cultural impacts. Share your experience and opinion in the comments. For more videos, like, share, and subscribe to this channel.